Why are we seeing Americans being asked on the street to provide proof of citizenship in Minnesota? Is that targeted enforcement? And are you advising Americans to carry proof of citizenship?
In every situation, we're doing targeted enforcement. If we are on a target and doing an operation, there may be individuals surrounding that criminal that we may be asking who they are and why they're there and having them validate their identity. That's what we've always done, in asking people who they are so that we know who's in those surroundings. And if they are breaking our federal laws, we will detain them as well until we run that processing.
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem told reporters today that American citizens may need to show proof of citizenship to immigration agents. This comes as multiple observers and protesters in Minneapolis have reported being asked to show documentation, something American citizens typically don't carry around with them. The Trump administration's papers, please immigration enforcement is clearly expanding from just immigrants. Last January, among President Donald Trump's list of executive orders, one was requiring that immigrants carry proof of their legal status, such as their visa, green card, or other form of identification. Under Trump's order and through the Alien Registration Act, immigrants would be expected to carry ID proving their status. If they do not comply, then they face either civil or criminal prosecution per the order. While the law has been in place with a few amendments for decades, it has not always been widely enforced. Now, with thousands of people protesting against ICE and smaller groups working as legal observers of federal agent activity, US citizens are also coming into close contact with those who may ask for proof of ID under this rule. But immigration law experts are already firing back on Noem's claim that this only occurs during targeted enforcement. Aaron Reichlin-Melnick, a senior fellow at the American Immigration Council, said, this is simply not true. In Los Angeles, for example, DHS officers outright admitted to doing roving patrols, which are not targeted. Similarly, if an officer is doing a targeted operation and then detours to interrogate random people walking by, the latter is not targeted. But even if you do show proof of citizenship, it doesn't always matter.
Mother in Maryland detained for 25 days despite producing multiple documents, proof of citizenship. She was sent to 4 different states before finally being reunited with her family. There was the Minnesota parent picked up while waiting with their child to get on the school bus. A 17-year-old New Jersey high school student, whose priest, by the way, calls him a good kid. He was arrested while doing his laundry. There's also a landscaper who's caregiver to a 9-year-old son with cerebral palsy who was swept up. He's been in this country for 20 years.
And I'll even add a personal anecdote. Several months ago, ICE was in my neighborhood in Los Angeles. They were just driving around doing those roving patrols that legal expert talked about. They saw someone in their front yard who had tattoos and was Latino. They drove up and demanded to see his paperwork. They demanded to see his proof of citizenship. He was on his own property in his front yard, and because he had tattoos and he was Latino, they harassed him and demanded to see proof that he was a citizen. I know this because I went to his house and talked to him. This is happening across the country, whether you're a citizen or not. Sharon, this is absolutely insane, and people have compared it to a Gestapo for good reason.
Yeah, and they need only compare it to America when blacks in the North had to hold on to their freedom papers, their emancipation papers. And basically what Kristi Noem said there when she was asked, oh, she's just so gross. She's so gross. She said, well, when criminals, she just had already adjudicated them. And she started out by saying when criminals this and that and whatever lies she was telling there. But what it's really doing is saying that all of us must carry paperwork at all times. And oh yeah, by the way, they'll ignore that when they want to, like the report you just showed where a mother was gone, sent to several states and 25 days away from her family, just disappeared like that. This is outrageous. And I don't want anybody else hurt. I don't want any other mothers taken from their children, any other neighbors with tattoos being harassed. But I there's so much PTSD, Jordan, that I really believe that otherwise, why wouldn't we wouldn't be able to do this show. We're all out on the streets saying this stops now. This is how far they keep going, not by inches, but yards at a time, miles at a time, eroding our rights. And nothing seems to be done about it. Sure, you can go to the courts and there's been some big wins. But after what? You've just been horribly treated, or your loved one's been killed, medicine taken away, basically. I mean, it's sick.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few other examples here. Like the one I think many people have seen this week was the 17-year-old Target employee who, when ICE, Gregory Ravino, and a few other agents showed up to the Target that he was working at in Minneapolis, he taunted them. Completely legal. It's not polite, but it's legal. It's exercising your free speech. An agent ran after him into the store, tackled him to the ground. He is screaming, "I'm a citizen," and he was. Think about that. If you are working for ICE, everyone has to fill out the I-9 paperwork to show their proof of citizenship, to show that they can work here. Do you think a major retailer like Target is hiring people under the books? Give me a break. So this kid is screaming, "I'm a citizen," as they drag him into a car or a truck. And then another video shows he was dropped off at a completely different store across town, sobbing and beaten up. All they did was they handcuffed this kid, kidnapped him while he was working, assaulted him, and took him somewhere else and dropped him off. If you are not, I don't care who you voted for or what your political persuasion is, if you are not outraged by that, you're not American. Sharon, any final thoughts?
Words matter, and I'm so glad we have to keep using words like kidnapped. That's exactly what that was. You're right. Committed no crime, no reasonable, articulable suspicion. Just didn't like the fact that he exercised his American right to free speech, kidnapped him, purportedly assaulted him, and then dumped him somewhere. And there's not going to be any consequence for that? Really? Once it's done, it's done.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.